Hello everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, where we do our best to avoid being taken in by Frownland. And this is for Poetry Thursday, but I'm also following a thread, and that is the or actually it's a tag, the Poetic Quotes tag. So I've done one Poetry Thursday because, as I have admitted, my experience with poetry is quite limited. I am generally intimidated by it, and I enjoy reading it, but it's one of those things that I just never really took a deep dive into, and so that's kind of part of the reason why I wanted to do this. I heard about it from Josh Kribo's channel, and I love the way you all will, during these tags, you'll list other booktubers, and that's great for me being new to booktube. I primarily do videos about records, and because it identifies other channels for me to check out and see which ones I have an affinity for. Doing this, and I will say from the start that while I have a few lines from poems, most of these are actually going to be lines of lyrics from songs. And, that might be cheating, but there are some songwriters who are definitely poets. And the verse that is within the song, the lyrics, when read without music, is really quite poetic and strong. And I believe the selections I have made exemplify this. I hope you all will enjoy this. The first one is a quote you return to in hard times. What about it that comforts you? Well, it's the closing line. This is from a song, and it's going to be the closing line to Bob Dylan's "It's All Right, Ma, I'm Only Bleeding," which is from this album, Bringing It All Back Home. And I'll just read it to you at first here. It's the closing stanza, and it's, "My eyes collide head-on with stuffed graveyards, faults, goals I scuff at pettiness which plays so rough, walk upside down inside handcuffs, kick my legs to crash it off, tell, all right, I've had enough. What else can you show me?" The whole song is primarily about the way life just keeps throwing stuff at you, and there's a lot of injustice, there's a lot of unpredictability, many challenges. And at the end of the song, the line is, "It's all right, Ma, it's life and life only." And I like that sentiment. I like that perspective, particularly when things get difficult, encounter hard times. Thinking of that line reminds me that this is just life, okay? It's not, life is a series of events that happen to us. It has no overreaching arch. What happens to us is based on what we do now. And sometimes either we make poor choices and so we encounter difficult times, or things that are beyond our control intrude themselves into our life and create difficult times. But we have no control over that. All we have control over is what we choose to do. And I like that. I love that song. I love listening to it. It is a great song. But yeah, that particular stanza really stands out and is in fact comforting to me. Now, a quote or two that sums up your philosophy of life. Well, this one I do have a poem, and it is from The Riddle of Strider, which is in The Fellowship of the Ring. And the line in particular that I believe, this actually kind of dovetails with the previous prompt. And the line is, "Not all those who wander are lost." And yeah, that is kind of reflective of my philosophy of life. As I said before, we may at times look like we're aimless, but kind of the fact is, life just kind of happens, and it's our responses to it that move us forward and help develop the character that we do have. So yeah, it kind of sums up my philosophy. The entire poem that is within the book, The Riddle of Strider, within the Fellowship of the Ring, goes as follows. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. From the ashes a fire shall be woken, a light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken, the crownless again shall be king. So yes, the Riddle of Strider, foretelling Strider and the rise of Aragorn. Now, I'm going to have another one here that is going to sound kind of silly, and it's a song by Frank Zappa, okay, from this particular record, One Size Fits All. And the song is Evelyn, a Modified Dog. And it's kind of silly, but I like how this is presented, and read alone without the music, although the music is exquisite. It reads well as a poem, and this is how it goes. Evelyn, a modified dog, viewed the quivering fringe of a special doily draped across the piano with some surprise. In the darkened room where the chairs dismayed and the horrible curtains muffled the rain, she could hardly believe her eyes. A curious breeze, a garlic breath, which sounded like a snore, somewhere near the Steinway or even from within, had caused the doily fringe to waft and tremble in the gloom. Evelyn, a dog, having undergone further modification, pondered the significance of short person behavior in pedal-depressed panchromatic resonance and other highly ambient domains. "Arf," she said. What I like about the lyrics of this song is that we take just this dog, which is probably a poodle. Most dogs that Frank Zappa refers to in songs are poodles. And it's just taking the literal perspective of a dog, okay? Not knowing what's making the doily move. We tend to anthropomorphize animals, particularly pets, which can be, inappropriate because they're just simply reacting to the environment in the way they are equipped to do. And again, that just kind of goes back to my philosophy of how, life happens and how we react to events. To a large degree is directing how our life is going to move forward. and shape the kind of person, because we always have the ability to make a choice. Although, and now I'm kind of wavering here on my direction, because there's a lot of really good explanations of how little free will we have, that most of our choices are predetermined, which is, again, kind of, life just happens, and that does kind of predetermine where we're going to go based on the choices, we make. But anyway, I love that song, and I love those words. Okay, a quote you love because it's beautifully written. Again, I'm going to go with a song. This is a song that's going to be by the Grateful Dead on this album, American Beauty. And it's a line from the song Ripple, which was written by Robert Hunter. He was the lyricist for many of the songs with the Grateful Dead. And his lyrics are beautiful, and they can be a bit cryptic. And he is always eschewed providing any explanation to his lyrics. I saw one of the very few interviews he gave with somebody where he replied that, he read the lyrics to one of his songs, which is like, wow. But then he says, what does it mean? It just means what it says, even though listening to it, it's like, what does it mean? It's, he never went that route of explaining the words. You just listened to them and applied them to your own experience, or you experienced them in your own way. And that's what I like about the closing line to Ripple. And that closing line is, if I knew the way, I would take you home. And I'll read the words to the entire song so you can kind of get the context to it. If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? It's a hand-me-down, the thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know, don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Ripple in still water where there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. Reach out your hand if your cup be empty. If your cup is full, may it be again. Let it be known there is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. That particular line, let it be known there is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. That, Robert Hunter has said, is his favorite line that he wrote ever. There is a road, no simple highway, between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. You who choose to lead must follow, but if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. Beautiful, beautiful song. Now, another song that has, and I won't read the entire lyrics to the song, but it's from Bruce Springsteen's album Born to Run, and it's from the song Jungle Land. And this particular stanza, I just think is so beautiful, and so descriptive of emotions. It's just, I just find it so remarkable. So here's the stanza. Outside, the street's on fire in a real death waltz between what's flesh and what's fantasy. And the poets down here don't write nothing at all. They just stand back and let it all be. And in the quick of the night, they reach for their moment and try to make an honest stand. But they wind up wounded, not even dead. Tonight in Jungle Land. Love that line. A poem you've memorized and why you chose to memorize it. Well, the poem is Fog by Carl Sandburg. And I'll see if I can actually recite it solely from memory. The fog comes on little cat feet, sits looking over harbor and city on silent haunches, and then moves on. Let's see, how did I do? The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over harbor and city on silent haunches, and then moves on. Yay! This is really one of my all-time favorite poems. The first time I heard it, I was in elementary school. This particular collection of his Chicago poems, is from like the 1920s, 1930s. So it contains some content that would probably not be politically correct today. And I did not know at the time, but there are some issues with Carl Sandburg. But anyway, I always loved that poem for two reasons. One, it was about cats. Okay. In my family, we had cats. And so I really liked that. But I liked the way it described the fog as a cat, the behavior of a cat, because it just so captures perfectly the aloofness and the silence of a cat. Just a really amazing poem, and I've always loved it. Now, what's the next one? A quote that a quote that captures how you feel about love or friendship. Well, that's going to be the final line to the album Abbey Road by the Beatles. The song is The End. And the line is, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. That's it. Perfect. Okay, now the next one is a quote that makes you feel seen. Again, a song. This is a song from the album Picaresque by the Decemberists. Now, and the song is The Bus Mall. This was a 2013 release. Colin Malloy is the lyricist and singer, and he was a poet. So just about every one of his songs you could read as a poem. Others are structured like a song with a verse and then a chorus, the chorus being repeated multiple times. But yeah, he writes like a poet. So often the words to the songs are easily read on their own without music. And the song, The Bus Mall, why it helps me to feel seen, it's about two teenage gay runaways and what happens to them, the life that they live out on the streets. And it's just done with such tenderness and loving care. And the line or the quote from the song that really makes me feel seen is this one. And here in our hovel, we fuse like a family, but I will not mourn for you. So take up your makeup and pocket your pills away. We're kings among runaways. On the bus mall, we're down on the bus mall. I just here in our hovel, we fuse like a family. So, there's the story of the song. It reveals, more about them. But that line, but I will not mourn for you. It's not, they're not talking about somebody dying. I'm not going to mourn for you. Um, there are hardships, and I'm not going to mourn about the choices that we made. I'm not going to mourn for you because you came from, this particular person in the story came from an abusive family, and then you ran away and ended up on the streets. I'm not going to mourn for you for that. So come on, man, it's life. Let's move on. Going back to that essential philosophy of mine. It's such a wonderful song. It's just such a wonderful song. But yeah, it's from the album Picaresque, which was from 2013. Okay, a quote that you'd want read at your funeral. Again, a song, line from a song by The Beat, from the album Special Beat Service. And the song is Eki 1, 2, 3. And this line is so useful in so many circumstances. And it's this. It doesn't have to be a nice day, just the only one you got. And it's coming, ready or not. Yeah, read that at my funeral. Think about that every day. When life happens, when shit happens, it doesn't have to be a nice day. It's just the only one you got. And it's coming, ready or not. Thank you so much for indulging me with this tag today. Leave a comment in the Down Under. I do enjoy getting the comments. And please do a thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button even if you're already subscribed, because it really helps any creator get their content distributed. And thank you so much if you've already subscribed. I really appreciate that. You can also find me on Instagram, where I go by the handle of NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. And I also have a Facebook page called Kelvin Wazoo that's focused on music and record collecting. But if you're interested in checking that out, please do. I appreciate that. But always remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.